Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Ninth Gear Broadcasting. We're back with the Weeknight Warriors Sim Series, and it is week 3 at Iowa. Last week we came off a very exciting race at Phoenix, and we are back at another short track. Luke, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Kevin. How you doing this afternoon?
Doing good, doing good. I'm excited for Iowa. I really, really like this track, and we have a pretty big field out here, Luke.
Yeah, that we do. We're looking at a little over, I believe, 37 drivers, just shy of 40.
Yeah.
Either way, we got a pretty good field out here tonight, and a lot of familiar faces, and I think we got a couple new ones out here. But as it stands, the fellas are out there qualifying right now, putting up some times. We got about 3 minutes left in this qualifying session, and as it stands right now, it's a Price 1-2 right now, Kevin. We got Connor Price in P1 and Dawson Price in P2.
Yeah, and that's something you don't see often. Little Bush reminiscent, but the Price 1-2 is maybe gonna stand. I know we see Chris McCullough, who was fast at Phoenix out here. He's gonna move up into 6th with a McCullough 5-6.
Jeez.
Some
Let's see what
good
Kenny can
lap
put
times
up.
being put up.
Can Kenny make it 3 in a row for the McCulloughs?
Oh, one of them, one of those McCulloughs is spelled different than the other on the 5 and 6.
Oh.
And Kenny is gonna put up a time of.
Let's see what he's got.
Oh, that was his first turn around. Now on his hot lap, I'd assume.
Run any Iowa races recently, Kevin?
I haven't. I haven't ran the Iowa races yet.
No? I've got to turn a handful of laps out here in, I believe it was the street stocks a while ago.
Kenny McCullough gonna move up into 12th off that.
Okay, there you go. It's a pretty big field out here of the night, like we said. So far, we have seen, 37 post up a lap so far. We got 2 who have not, so as it stands, we're going to have a 39 car field. I believe Nolan just wrapped up his qualifying. No one else currently on the track. But I think we're in for a good race out here tonight, Kevin.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just looking here, it looks like the price. I don't know if they're related. I'd assume so, but the Price 1-2 as part of LOC Apex Racing. So gonna see if LOC can keep it on the front row throughout the endurance of this race.
Speaking of endurance throughout the race, how many laps are we looking at out here tonight, Kevin?
We are looking at a cool.
I don't know. It will not show us on the tower here until we officially are closed up here on the qualifying session.
$160.
160. Let's see. Okay, yeah, 160. We're looking at 100% fuel capacity. We're looking at 3 extra sets of tires, in addition to the 1 set that they are going to have to start this race, and 0 fast repairs, of course. And I gotta say, Kevin, I'm honestly a big fan of the 0 fast repairs out here. It creates a sense of, I don't even know, awareness that you have to have going into one of these things, especially on one of the smaller to intermediate tracks.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing I've kind of noticed though is the shorter the tracks, the less that kind of seems to be a factor. I know last week at Phoenix, they weren't getting in big enough wrecks that completely totaled their cars. So we saw a lot of incidents, but we saw a lot of guys able to clear up that and get back out onto the track. So we'll see. I know Iowa tends to be a little bit more big incident prone than Phoenix. So we'll see how that goes.
And if I remember right, I believe Iowa is just shy of 9/10 of a mile, I believe. So pretty close to a mile long track, but not quite. So I'm it's not a track that I'm the most familiar with. I wouldn't by any means say that I put up a good lap out there at all, but from what I do remember in the shitty cars we were in, it was a whole deal of fun. So I think we're in for a pretty good race out here. Qualifying is just wrapping up, and it's going to go ahead and get changed over here, and there it is, 160 laps. The gridding has started. The guys are going to slowly start to make their way out there to the cars, but we'll go and take a look at our qualifying list right here.
Yeah, absolutely. And how about Connor Price and Dawson Price taking up your front row, getting the 1-2 on qualifying? Great laps by both of them. They're looking to bring their team into victory lane here tonight. Aiden Stevens and Al Likens is going to take up your second row. David McCullough and Christopher McCullough, third row. Danny Barnes and Ty Carino. Richard Elliott and Daryl Johnson, that's going to be your top 10. Sean Merriman and Kenny McCullough. DJ Norris and Omar Rodriguez. Travis Farmer and Nolan Gross, Jacob Petrovsky and Matt Morrison. Then you got Kyle Van Drunen and Connor Layardi. It's loading for me, so you're gonna have to bear with me for a second. And then Nick Hames and Justin Zemecki, Declan Beatty and Nathan Swafford. And you're going to take away the rest of it, Luke, because it's loading for me once again.
Where'd you end off at there, Swafford?
Top of the screen. Go from the top of the screen.
Okay. In 25, we got John Marino. In 26, we have Garrett Hummel. In 27th, we have Blaze Billing. In 28th, we have Kian Fry. In 29th, we have Jeffrey Bourne. In 30th, we have Brianna Laurent. In 31, we have Jeremy Osborne. In 32nd, we have Heath Job. In 33rd, we have Aaron Wright. 34th, Jaden Knight. 35th, Chad Strelo. And my bottom four are loading. Buster Malcolm in 36th. Reagan Shockley in 37th. James Hudson in 38th. And to round us out in the 39th position, Logan Murray. And again, a 39-car field out here right now, but I don't even know if I'm gonna make sure. Yeah,
absolutely.
Goodness, big track.
While we're pacing around, I'm gonna try to pull up some penalties that are kind of moved over from last race. I'm reading the 88 is gonna have a drive-through. The 760 is gonna have a drive-through.
That's Heath Joe.
Yeah, the 88, I'm not 100% sure on if you could try to find him as well.
The 88, we have... I don't know if we have an 88 on the track currently.
Okay.
So maybe...
maybe took his drive-through and ran.
Yeah, maybe.
But regardless, we will see that drive-through penalty for Heath Job, and if you're unfamiliar, that's kind of just into the pits, drive-through, don't have to go into your stall, out of the pits. That's how you start the penalty. So going to be interesting. We have some EOLs, some point deductions, but as far as stuff that will affect the course of this race, I'm just seeing the 760.
Okay, bear with me just 1 second here. We are currently changing up loading up our cameras here real quick, because I forgot to actually, no I didn't, because I don't have one for this track. So we're back.
Going with all reliable, huh?
Going with all reliable iRacing default here.
And as Connor Price is ready to take the green flag here, they're going to be going green this time by.
And sorry, one thing I'd like to point out here, before they're going green, Kenny McCullough has elected to jump to the pits just a moment before we get ready to go green here. Not too sure if that was on accident or on purpose here. But we're getting ready to get this thing rolling. Pace car's still out there, so we're actually going to go around one more time. If you can't tell, we've been doing a little bit more super speedway racing lately in the 9th gear racing department.
This is true.
But the lights
go ahead and if you're in the chat, let us know who you're rooting for. Let us know who you think's going to win this thing. Happy everyone can make it out tonight.
Yeah, I'm seeing a couple guesses here. We got fans of the 33. We got fans of the 96, 33 as well. Either way, a couple Declan Beatty fans. Currently going to be starting in 17th place to get this thing rolling. And I got to say, Kevin, he just early, and I don't want to take up too much time here, but that might be my new favorite car. Big fan of Captain Crunch. And Cinnamon Toast Crunch as well. I gotta say, I'm giving respects to my favorite first, okay?
Oh, okay.
Either way, enough cereal talk. Pace car is in, and we're getting ready to get this thing rolling. And they are green. The flag's waving. We're going green for the first time out here in Iowa tonight.
Price as well as the 74 of Stevens. And they are going around turns 1 and 2 for the first time of 160, Luke.
That's right, Kevin. And we're seeing a little bit of a fan out there, just a little bit back in about 10th place. We're going to swap here to a little bit bigger camera angle to get a sense of where these guys are getting their initial runs off of. But as it stands, Connor Price with a good jump off the start.
And we are under caution.
Interesting.
On lap 2.
Trying to find something here. We already see some people making their way through the pits. I see where it takes us to. It takes us to Jaden Knight. And I gotta be honest with you, Kevin, I think that might have been a planned caution. Because I'm not reading anything on the track right now. I'm not reading any incidents. No one off track as it stands.
Well, what I'm reading, Luke, is look how many people are in the pits.
Yeah, I was about to say, I read that David McCullough jumped to the pits, aka took a tow. Strelo, Heath Job, Osborne, they all went into the pits. Currently reading that Heath Job has crashed. That might just be at the low pace. Just speeding it up here. Yeah, looks like Heath Job might be AFK or something, not too sure there.
It was definitely an interesting caution and an interesting start to this race. We saw a few guys with, I don't know if it's connection issues or what it is. I know it was very odd. I know we've raced for a long time now with Kenny McCullough to see him jump to the pits right at the beginning of the race, but I'm going to try to see if I can get a read on what's going on there. Regardless, this is still going to be the 28 of Connor Price out front.
Lights are going to be on the pace car here for a little bit as they're going to pace around here.
Yeah, I'd like to give our first shout out of the night to our sponsor, Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Thanks to Tunnel to Towers Foundation for coming along with us. That's t2t.org. It's a great foundation. You can go t2t.org/Stevens-story to learn a little bit more about it. A great charity for all the firefighters out there.
Of course, you know.
Shout out to Tunnel to Towers Foundation.
Not about you, Kevin. I got some pretty badass pictures of me as a kid in a fire truck.
That's great, Luke.
Currently reading that Heath Job crashed again. I think he might just be, he's very slow. Not too sure what's going on there. I gotta say, this is definitely an odd start to the beginning of this race here. I believe they're gonna file too wide this time. Lights are off the pace car, so we're going to be going green this time by. It's going to be lap 7, and Heath Job running around making up some laps. Going to be both of the Prices leading each line once again to get this thing rolling. So they're going to roll across the start line and get this thing underway once again. It is lap 7, and we are green out here in Iowa.
Green flag, another good jump for the 28 car. It seems to be that, second row back guy on the inside is also getting a pretty good launch. This time around, it's going to be Al Likens.
How about the rest of the field behind him? Maybe not so lucky there. They're kind of backed up there around that 5th place position and back. It's currently going to be sitting with Omar Rodriguez and Ty Carino currently running those lines.
Oh, and we are under caution once again.
Currently reading that Aaron Wright went off track. We're going to go and take a look back at that one and see what that one was about. But I believe it's going to be Aaron Wright here.
Yeah, I believe you'd be correct, Luke, as he went around there. It's up to the...
You can see him start to get loose there on the exit, and then it just fishtails from there. But a
yeah,
good recovery.
A little overcorrect.
Yeah.
Nobody really involved, and even he himself was able to keep it off the wall. So nothing too severe for your second caution of the evening.
You gotta wonder, maybe it was a little bit of the cold tire situation here. They've been pacing around and not really putting too much warmth in those tires, and to maybe stick it a little too hot on that exit there. Maybe, who knows? Either way, well contained there, no one else involved, and I don't even think, like you said, he took any damage either, so. But we are going to have a little bit of a change up on the front.
Yeah.
Front rows, it's going to be, once again, Connor Price here to get this thing started again in the front, but it's not going to be Dawson Price next to him. It's going to be Al Likens. He was able to just barely be ahead of him there when that caution flag threw out there.
Yeah, and I'd like to, let me see if I can find it. It was posted in one of the chats. League owner Omar Rodriguez cooked up a couple, betting lines.
Oh, boy.
Just, for fun and games out here, just for us to make our guesses.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. If I do remember, here it is.
Do we want to throw one up as a poll?
Yeah, I'll pick one. It was set at 7.5 cautions. Now, I would assume at this point, being as we're 2 in, not even 16 through the race, that would change. So I'm gonna say the cautions one has gone up a little bit. The lead change is 11.5. I do like that line, and I'm gonna put it up as a poll.
Okay. What are you gonna take the over or the under on that one?
I'm gonna take.
I'm gonna take the under personally.
I'm also gonna take the under just because we're seeing a lot of the same car up there leading with these cautions so far. Just based off that trend. But if we get a good green run and we get different pit strategies, that could very well be, completely different. So that poll has been created for those of you that like fake gambling.
Kevin, I don't know about you, but I like just about any form of gambling.
That's true. I also do. You know that. Regardless, pace car is still with the lights on, so we'll be going around a couple more times. And right now the vote's split.
And tell me if...
Don't close it.
I was going to say, does that... I wonder if that actually does.
That,
just can't
that would end it.
That's what I thought. Can't lie to you, Kevin. I've been looking at a couple of the schemes out here, and I'm seeing some nice ones out here. Do you got any favorites out here so far?
Look. I mean, I think I might just have to stick with the Cinnamon Toast Crunch scheme.
I was gonna say, that one, yeah, that one's, it's got to be a hard one to beat, I'll be honest with you. It's a damn good-looking scheme. Let's see. James Hudson in a pretty cool-looking car back there. Menards scheme. I guess the Menards military scheme. I believe Blaze Billing rocking that Hotline Miami-esque colorway car. So the pace car, I believe, is going to be making its way in out of this turn. And we're going to go and get the track map up here on the top right when we go green this time.
We are green here with Connor Price. Another good jump. And Al Likens not liking this top line as much as he liked his restart on the bottom inside, I'd imagine, because that second guy just gets his nose in there. But it looks like Likens going to clear. That's a great move and going to put him in a good spot to get around the other Price.
We got some tight door-to-door racing back there between the 62 and I believe the 20. Three-wide situation right there. Oh, man.
They're racing out here. So that's Omar Rodriguez almost. Or no, that does the 82, I believe.
Just taking a look at your track conditions out here. We're looking at a track temp of 117. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but if it is, yeah, we got a quite warm track out here. That's for sure. And man, we really see the group bottled up back there from what is that, about 5th place and back, or about 4th place and back, I think. Omar Rodriguez leading the charge of that second group, but we kind of got a bit of a breakaway right now for Al Likens and Connor Price. But not behind them is Dawson Price and the rest of the guys.
Caution flies here.
Man, and we got smoking, we got wrecking, Kevin.
Oh, and we got another kind of
this doesn't look like a little one.
Sort of incident. No, it does not. As we're gonna have to see what happens here, Luke.
Yeah, I'm reading at least 5, maybe 6 names. Oh my, no, I'm reading more than that. We got an incident to break down, I think, here. So.
Oh boy, possibly the big one at Iowa here, very early.
Oh yeah, and we're seeing quite a few in the pits here. We're gonna see if we can find a good angle of this. Oh, yep, and I think we might have found one. So I believe it starts right about here, and we'll watch it from an overhead here just so we can get an idea of what it looks like to start this. Oh, and I think the 62 gets loose, and oh man,
it's a hard hit, and then they kind of just stack
pile up after that. I think, yeah. You can
some breaking harder than others, and
yep, we see a little bit of a result of that there near the end of it. We'll go back and watch that here, maybe from a different angle. We'll watch from. Okay, well, Ty Carino seemed like he was pretty close to that, so we'll go ahead and watch his chase here, and we'll see what we get from him. Oh, and I think it's the same situation on the turn 4 exit. He gets loose, a little bit of an overcorrection. And then you see everyone else behind him just kind of... Everyone kind of struggle to get it together. But at the very, very end of it, I believe we see a couple near the end. Brianna Lauren and Aaron Wright blinking a little bit right before it comes up and happens. I think the 6 blinked a little bit there, and just wasn't able to break in time there for the 60. And we have multiple cars that are damaged out there now, Kevin. I don't know if there was any that would require... Nope, I see 2 meatballs. Ty Carino and Matt Morrison's night is over already, this early on, Kevin.
Oh.
And that is, that's a tough break for both of them there. That's very unfortunate here, but it's going to bring us, I believe, to lap 22 when we go green. So far, we're on that 3rd caution, Kevin, and we're slowly chipping away and getting up towards that, getting towards the over on. Well, we haven't set a caution one, did we?
No, we have not, but it's definitely getting towards that 7.5 line that was set at the beginning of the race.
That's right.
Do we got a couple seconds before we go green here? If I can maybe get an interview in. Alright, I'm gonna pull up our leader. I'm gonna pull up our current leader, Connor Price, and see, you know, kind of how he's feeling about
current leader is Al Likens.
Al Likens, that's what I meant.
Come on in.
Hey, Al, guys in the booth, you got a copy?
I do.
Hey, man, so far so good for you in this race, and it seems like it's kind of, I don't want to say, repeat of last week, but it kind of seems like the guys up towards the front are being a lot cleaner and a lot safer than where all the chaos is happening kind of mid-pack. Is your strategy going to kind of, if you don't want to tell us your strategy, that's alright, but is it kind of going to be based around trying to keep your car towards the front here?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Try to stay up front and stay out of trouble, but you never know how it's going to play out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, a lot of race ahead of you, and I wish you the best of luck here as I'm going to move you back to your team channel. Best of luck, Al.
All right, thank you.
Ooh, this pace car is going to make its way off, and I'll be honest, Kevin, I thought we had another lap to go, but it's going to be a single file restart now as we're going green. That's going to, I imagine, be a pretty good jump there for your leader, Al Likens, who we just had on the radio there, and yeah, it definitely appears that way as he's getting some substantial distance here between him and the guy in second place. And we are already under caution again. I'm reading quite a few again. I'm reading at least 4 drivers again, Kevin. And I think oh man, I think that's gonna lead to that leads to even more meatballs. Yeah, man, it's gonna bring the 33 of Declan Beatty and Brianna Laurent in the 06 both out with a meatball now. Go back and see if we can get a back at this one. We know the 06 was already involved in something. Oh!
Can we roll that back real quick and take another look at that?
We're gonna go back here maybe to let's go to the exit of turn whatever this is, and we'll go to the cockpit view here. This is the turn before it happens, so it's going into this next turn here, I believe.
Oh, no, just a hard hit and really a very narrow corner. Not much room to get around. Unfortunately, that's the 06 of Brianna Laurent.
And let's see if we can figure out what happened there near the front of that. I believe that was Blaze Billing there, if I remember right. Yeah, let's see if we can figure out what happened back here from his point of view. Oh!
It's like the 68 drives it in a little too deep.
Just gets the 96 off-centered and gets him spun out, and then we saw what happened after that. Unfortunately, that is, like we said, going to bring us up here to our 4th caution of the night. And that is going to be a meatball for a few more drivers out here, but pacing around once again.
And once again, we're pacing, and it's kind of right how, these guys up 1, 2, 3, 4, just anywhere up there is kind of hoping this plays out, because the more that they can pace around towards the front, the less they have to race around towards the front. And, they probably also have in the back of the mind that the cars are starting to get, or the number of cars is starting to lower and lower and lower every single caution. So, every one that they can miss is a good caution for them.
I think we see 32 drivers still racing this thing, as far as I can tell. A couple guys making their way in and out through the pits, but a couple of them will be there for the night, I believe. But I believe we're going to roll around one more time. Another thing to think about here, these guys have been in the front. They also got to be pretty happy here with the amount of pacing laps. Just, the less strain they got to put on that right rear.
Yeah.
More laps they can preserve. They only have 4 sets of tires in total, 3 additional to the one they got on right now. So they can make this first set of tires stretch out a little longer. That's definitely going to be in a favorable position for them later on in this thing.
Yeah, and I'm not a huge Iowa guy, like I said, but I can definitely imagine it's not a very forgiving track as far as tire wear goes. So, I've got to agree with you there, Luke.
And they're going to get ready to go green here. Once again, we know they're doing the single file restarts now. And I'm currently... Oh, man, and we got wrecking under pacing here. Garrett Hummel backwards. Oh, my God. I'm seeing, like, half the field involved.
What?
What the hell happened?
What are you talking about?
I'm seeing, like, half the field crashed. Like, on my list here. Hold on. What happened? So I know Kenny was involved. Oh, man. Oh, jeez.
You're gonna have to move up a little bit further.
That's further up. I can't tell where that was. Garrett Hummel. There it is. Really just see a case of bumper cars.
You know, this is, I hate to jump to conclusions here, but I'd imagine this is why NASCAR drivers aren't allowed to be on their phones in the car.
You know, Kevin, that...
And then bumping's going on kind of further back as they're all trying to slowly get away from
Mind you, they were going
just
green
witnessed.
right there. They had just went green technically, but immediately under caution again. And it's, it's definitely been an eventful start to this race, Kevin.
Absolutely.
As we are gonna, I believe, go green at lap 30. Or no, we're gonna go green right now. The lights off the pace car.
Oh, I forgot they switched it to the single file.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like the recurring cautions. So we're gonna be single file green here, which I'm a huge fan of. Big endorser of the single file restarts.
And here we go.
We're gonna see Al Likens here. And I kind of talked earlier about how the guy starting third place was at somewhat of an advantage. That's no longer the case with the single file. As you see, Connor Price getting a better start here than Dawson, but nobody really touching Al Likens on this restart, as he has about 5 car lengths in between him and anybody else.
Not at all, but we're seeing some early pass attempts right now. We're seeing the 48 of Jeffrey Bourne fly around Richard Elliott right now, who's running that high line in the 002.
Yeah, Omar Rodriguez up another position into 4th.
Oh, we see the 09 maybe slip a little bit there. Tire getting a little loose there of Travis
A
Farmer.
little bit.
He's going to be forced to run that high line through the next sequence of turns. Kenny McCullough back there in the 03. Stacked up in a decent little group that's now 3 wide, with Heath Job in the 68 getting ready to go into turn 1.
Oh, and that's getting tight. A good game of give and take there. Everyone was able to, lift their way out of contact.
That they were, but man, we're seeing some close driving back there near the back. Seeing a touch.
Ooh,
the 32 Heath Job, they bump. 3 wide with the 78.
3 wide. And no one's backing out this time.
Nope, and they're going to stick it all the way through, and Heath Job is going to draw the short end there and be put to the back of that bunch, but that's currently the battle back there for about 22nd, I do believe. And that's currently the cars we're looking at right now. We're seeing a lot of space even from the group behind them. We're seeing the track finally start to space out here a little bit. And if we see a green flag run here by your leaders, here with Al Lycan and stuff, they're starting to make some pace up on the guys around. And we might start seeing some lap car territory if this stays green.
Yeah, and Al Lycan, he has the best seat in the house right now, Luke. There's no one in front of him. He knows if there's a caution, it's not going to involve him at all. But at the same time, he's okay with staying green out here because he's pulling away. And even if he were to get caught, it's only a couple guys really even within close proximity up here.
And close proximity. being just shy of a second off. He's about 7/10 of a second off of Al Likens. That's going to be Connor Price. Both of the Price brothers working up there near the front to try to prevent Al Likens from walking this thing home, but he's got a long way to get there. And I'm currently reading some frustrations from Matt Morrison in the chat right now.
Yeah, you know, very unfortunate getting wrecked out this early into a race, but I've always kind of said if someone's going to wreck me out, please make it happen early. I know, especially when it comes to endurance races, you don't want to get wrecked out at the end of the race. That's the worst feeling, so...
Yeah, better to get it over with early than late.
Yeah, you know, it's not a good feeling, but at the same time, at least your whole evening hasn't been wasted.
Exactly.
Hopefully, at least. Hopefully no plans were canceled, because then at that point, it does ruin the whole evening, I suppose.
Travis Farmer making his way into pit lane. And while you were talking there, Kevin, I read that Chad Strelo and Danny Barnes both went off and came back onto the track somewhere. No caution being given, though, so whatever it was, it's not going to warrant a caution here, but just taking a look back through the group back here, we're seeing another 3 wide situation briefly there around Sean Merriman. I believe that's Sean Merriman. We see Christopher McCullough and Omar Rodriguez in that bunch. Up there in front of them is the 74 of Aiden Stevens. Taking a look around here, we're seeing a lot of single file here, but we're also seeing a lot of 2-file wide pack racing here. Pass is still trying to be made, and I believe this is our best green flag run to this extent of the night. See some blinking going on from Al Likens right now.
Yeah, you know, not great that the leader's blinking, but at the same time, probably the safest car to be blinking. Not too close to anybody, not in harm's way. But look at the track map, Luke. Everybody on the track now is just completely spread out. We're going to start seeing lap traffic here soon. And this is when this race really starts becoming about strategy, when they get a little green run going. You don't want to pit too early, you don't want to pit too late, you don't want to get caught in caution.
Speaking of lap traffic, our leader Al Likens is walking his first. I believe that is the number 4. Who do we got there? Of Chad Strelo. We know he went off track a little bit earlier, so a little off speed here as Al Likens going to try to make his way around his first lap car of the evening. You said, Kevin, a very spread out track. We're going to go high and give the room on the inside there for your race leader. Now the rest of them got to make their way around him. Next up is going to be the... Is it safe to call them the Price brothers? Are we sure they're brothers, or...
No, we're not sure, but if you want to, I'm not going to stop you.
All right. The next two that's got to pass the lap car is going to be the Price brothers of Connor and Dawson. And they are approaching. Man, cars all over the field, Kevin. There's not much area on the track where there isn't a vehicle.
Absolutely. Having another good day, I'd like to point out, is Christopher McCullough. He's sitting pretty in 5th right now.
I think that might be our biggest bunch of drivers right now. Going to be, I believe, battle for 19th. I'd
like to point out Dawson Price out here trying to defend his win from last week. sitting in a good spot once again as they have passed Al Likens and moved to 1-2, or the Price brothers.
That's right. Now making their way around the lap car. You know, we're getting a decent bit through this race, Kevin. You gotta wonder if anyone's starting to feel the pressure on those tires.
I'd imagine so. You know, usually I'm so bad at saving my tires on tracks that I'll start feeling after about 10 laps. So I'd imagine they're feeling it pretty good right now.
Likewise, Kevin, likewise. Just as you were speaking earlier on his name, Christopher McCullough, Kevin, he has made his way up and is now closed the distance between himself and the top three. He is right on the bumper of Al Likens now, and he's got Aiden Stevens behind him.
Yeah, on his horse, and you know, he didn't qualify up there with the Price brothers, but he sure has made his way up there through the course of these cautions and green flag stint. You never know who's burning their tires off out here. You also never know what the strategies are.
You really don't. You also don't know the situation of everybody's vehicles. Take, for instance, here, Kean Fry in the 99 right now. He is, I believe, gotten a smashed up front end there. But, yep, looks like he's got a bit of a dented front end. Not too sure if that's going to affect him too much in this thing, but maybe going to have some bit of effect here on the straightaways. Passing another lap car, that's the 02 of Nolan Gross.
Saying gross.
Connor Price, he's got a little over a half a second up on Dawson here, who has the rest of the field behind him of Al Likens, Christopher McCullough, and Aiden Stevens. After that are a little more spread out. AJ Norris and Sean Merriman going to be the next two.
Yeah, and Christopher McCullough closing the gap more and more by the lap. He's made it to about a second, give or take, and you know, yeah, let's come on board with me here for a second. Let's see. Maybe this will teach us a couple things if we do plan to race some Iowa, Luke.
Yeah, maybe, Kevin. I'd have to put the idea of racing Iowa in my mind first, but another tough pill to swallow. I don't know if it's even on the any of the agenda of race, race series that I'd be eligible to run. I'll be honest.
It's true.
Either way, he is definitely making up time here. Currently reading that Jaden Knight has crashed and made his way into pit lane. Let's take a quick gander back and see if we can maybe figure out what this was, as we are still green.
Yeah, lucky to stay green there. Great recovery for him and whoever was on his outside there. And also very fortunate that pit road is right there.
Yep, definitely a nice one for him as he's making his way out now as they are still green. Probably unfortunate for him as that's now going to probably knock him off pace, but our leaders have bunched back up, Kevin. They're passing more lap cars, but they've definitely closed the distance now. The Price brothers don't have as much of a lead on the rest of them as we've seen previously, and I gotta say, I think the lap traffic has something to do with it. burn through the lap traffic. Top 4 make it through. The rest of them are going to have to wait to the next straight. Christopher McCullough knocking at the door there for Al Likens. He was close. Likens looking to the outside.
He got there, but you never want to scorch these tires, so as fast as he was gaining on them. Ooh, and a little bit of walk contact there. That's going to give Chris McCullough a decent run.
I think he might have it.
Slide job.
Woo! Man.
Sort of.
Sort of.
Very, very, very forgiving by Likens, though, as he's going to accept the pass, and Christopher McCullough is going to move up into P3.
That he is. And it's going to put him next in contention against the Price brothers as he is catching up to Austin Price now. We got just under 100 laps here, 99 to go at this current moment.
They're navigating around some lap traffic.
You know, I think if this ends up staying green here for a large portion out here, that might be the, you know, the real kicker of the night here for some drivers, I think. Those that can maneuver around it better than others might themselves losing too much time. You know, we'll have to see how it plays out here for some of the guys, but overall our front bunch has stayed relatively similar. And I gotta say the leader changes. That line is not moving too much.
Yeah, now we're about 15 laps away from that halfway point, and I'd imagine some of these guys have at the back of their mind when they're going to be coming in. But it is a short track at the end of the day, so you never want to come in too early and risk being put a lap down. So it's going to be interesting to see what sort of strategies are going to play out here.
And you see that front bunch all staying fairly close to each other. I don't think they're really attempting any crazy passes right now. Maybe still got quite a bit of racing left to go. I think Christopher McCullough is just working on staying up there with them and just hanging tight to them so he can be in their pit cycle, I think. We know they're running 100% fuel out here. They're starting to make their way, and they got quite a bit of room in terms of lap cars here, so your front bunch isn't going to have any lap traffic to worry about here for some time. Ooh, and we have our first taker of a pit, Kevin. Oh, wait a minute. No, maybe. I don't know. We have a black flag for Al Likens, who has made his way into the pit and left the race. Uh-oh. And the clock strikes twice. Richard Elliott also in the pit. He's registered as crashed.
Also interesting.
Oh.
That is,
Damn.
in fact, a crash. An interesting one.
Yeah, he's making his way back out onto the track, but the night is over for Al Likens.
Oh, I'm reading in the chat that Al got called into work, so unfortunately,
No.
duty calls for Al Likens.
Oh, that's unfortunate. He led quite a few laps up there. He was sitting up there in the front for quite some time, and, you know, duty calls, I guess, you know. Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, on the flip side of that, I think some bonus points will be coming his way for leading a lap as well. As him not getting the worst finishing position, I know there was a few DNFs before he had to go, so as he could come out here and turn some laps and still get some points.
Maybe a couple brownie points in there too, you know. Telling the boss you left a race to get here, you know, halfway through. Let a handful of laps, you know. That's got to be some good brownie points with the folks at work, but it's still a price one too, Kevin, and As it stands, it's looking like it might stay that way. They've been putting on a show out here. Not staying far off each other's feet. A little distance between them and Christopher McCullough. Currently getting, a little birdie over here, hearing some word up the grapevine that the boss might be the issue. Well, we hope all is well for Al Likens, and hoping all is well over on that front, but still a very spread out track right now, Kevin. We're just looking through here. We're not seeing too many passing attempts, very much pack racing at all. I gotta imagine everybody's been feeling these tires for a handful of laps by now, and everyone's just starting to get their pit strategies in line.
Yeah, could we take a look at like the difference between last lap and best lap for some of these guys to see just the pace difference between those?
Of course. Take a look here real quick at the three of Justin Zemecki. He's missing a front bumper. I just thought I'd point that out real quick. And he's still driving, so good look for him as we're switching for the best times of the track right now. We're looking at the best laps of the section. And I believe...
Yeah, so it says a 23:62 as far as Connor Price's goes.
I believe that is going to be our best time.
Okay, now can we take a look at last times and see?
And they're running about a second for those best lap times.
Second point two off their best laps, so.
A little wall running back there for Dawson Price, a teeny bit, but a little more than a teeny bit for Christopher McCullough, as I imagine that right side. If it was a little more accurate, we'd have a little bit of the paint coming off the side there. And, I think I see a little 9th gear logo sitting near his rear tire sets. If I'm not mistaken here. Oh, and it's not going to give you a good view of it. It's just out of frame, of course, but...
I'll take your word for it.
It's there. It's there. Just want to make sure. Ooh, that's an angle and a half.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that camera angle. Carlos, can we go back to the gap on the score and see if really nothing's changed, except maybe the prices have ran away just a little bit from Christopher McCullough.
It's going to be really awkward if we pull these guys in here and they're just not related whatsoever in the slightest.
Yeah, I was thinking I was thinking the same thing.
But you know
They
what?
are on the same team, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
LOC Apex Racing having a great night so far.
It can't be too far off. They got to have some kind of relation. But either way, a great race so far for the both of them.
They're now sitting at 1, 2, 6, 7 on the standings as their team.
Ooh, and the pit comes in for Connor Price. Dawson Price staying out.
Seems like
Your
a pretty
leader
clean
makes his way
entrance
in, yeah.
for the leader.
The only one at that right now as it stands. Nobody else making their way through the pits. We'll have to see when Dawson makes his way in. Really already made his way in as well. He's our second taker. Price
now
just making
seen-
his way into his pit stall.
We've now seen, I do believe, 4 lead changes at the halfway point, so a little bit underpaced for the over to hit. But we're going to get a lot of lead changes with this green flag pit.
Assuming it stays a green flag pit here, we'll have to see. We're seeing a couple more takers. Jacob Petrowski making his way in the 01. Aiden Stevens making his way in. DJ Norris, and I believe we are going to start to see the beginning of this pit cycle now, Kevin. We're seeing our first 5 make their way in. Richard Elliott still in there working off some of those repairs from earlier.
Oh, when the caution flies.
Oh,
Oh,
and
this is killer.
I did say it, and oh no! We see a couple vehicles off track there, and an unfortunate one there, and I believe Kenny McCullough is involved. And you know, I was just
Yeah.
hitting at it earlier, Kevin. You were saying the lead changes during the green flag pit, but I did mention it. If that's assuming it stayed green, as we know, when people coming in and out of the pits there, it can cause quite a bit of a shake-up there for those guys on the track. But currently reading Kenny McCullough and Jaden Knight being the only two involved right now. We're going to go back and take a look and see if we can dive into that one a little more.
What's the 68 over driving it again?
I was about to say, you know, I got to say, Kevin, that's not the first time I've seen that from that driver tonight.
A very deja vu sort of incident there.
Jaden Knight sitting in the number 68. Let's go back and maybe take a look at the straightaway sequence leading into that turn here from his onboard. Just comes in a little hot and that causes quite the kick up, but a good job for both of them for staying up high and getting out of the way after that one happened. You know, I hate to do it, Kevin, but do you think we could bring Kenny in here?
Well, I was about to just ask you if we could bring in, you know,
Or anybody.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask if we could bring in Dawson Price and see, you know, kind of what the strategy call was there to not go in with Connor Price, because it seemed to work.
Yeah. Go ahead and bring him on over. Let's see what we got here. Currently leading this thing.
Hey, Dawson, guys in the booth, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey man, definitely an interesting caution we're seeing here, because it was sort of middle of the pit strategy or the pit cycle. So I want to ask you first and foremost, are you related to Connor Price? Because we've
Yes, I am. He's my little brother.
all right, we've
We
been
did
calling
call
you
it,
the Price
yes.
brothers all night. So we were really hoping there. And second of all, kind of what was the strategy not to go in with them? And seemingly, I guess, probably happy you didn't.
Yeah, now I am happy I didn't for sure. But I figured I was like, we've been on this set of tires for quite a while, and it's bound that somebody's gonna make a pretty big mistake on these old slick tires. Like the track's 120 degrees, they're already sliding. So, I was kind of banking on just kind of running how much fuel I had. I'd saved quite a bit of tire, I felt like, and I had a good enough pace to stay up front, but definitely got really lucky with that caution coming out and being able to pit under yellow there. Feel bad for Connor though. He got caught right at the pits.
Absolutely. Well, a lot of race left. We wish you the best of luck as well as your team. So far, a great race for you guys, and hopefully we can talk to you at the end.
Absolutely. Heck yeah. Thank you.
Appreciate it. That was Dawson Price leading this thing now, and like we kind of just said, definitely a lucky break there with the strategy.
Absolutely, and I believe it cycles Connor back to. What's he cycle him back to? 15th. So after his pit cycle, he's back to 15th. He took a little bit earlier of a pit than everybody else. Not too sure if that's going to come back to bite him near the end of this thing, but
Yeah, definitely a good look that he's still in the lead lap out here. I don't know if he had gotten back to the lead lap or if that's a waiver on sort of deal. But yeah, fortunate he's, you know, still in a racing position here and a couple more cautions, and I'd assume he will be back in our top 5 and we'll be talking about him once again.
and we'll have to see as we are back for the second time of the night out here, Kevin, back to double wide racing, and we are green once again.
Yeah, good jump. The 54 of Dawson Price's first jump of the evening, trying to defend his Phoenix title with an Iowa win here tonight. But how about Christopher McCullough? He now has the track position for the first time of the evening, or the best of his evening, and he's looking to make something happen with it. But a caution comes out immediately.
Oh, James Hudson. Not
James
moving on
Hudson
the track right now.
has power, back moving on the track, which is initially not the worst sign, but
Not reading.
I have to go back and see what happens here to the two-car of Hudson.
And before we do go back, I'd like to point out I'm currently seeing a black flag for Jeremy Osborne. Not too sure what that was for, but let's go back and take a look here at James Hudson, what happened here for him is I'm getting a read that he is currently making his way into the pits as we review this.
Oh, it just comes up
man.
a little bit too much.
Yeah, just comes up into the lane of Blaze Billing, who is already a lap down. Must have thought he was clear, but overall doesn't junk the car. We don't see a meatball, and he's going to make his way into, I assume, go and fix up some of those damages. We're going to pace our way up to, I believe, the 92nd, 93rd lap here, before we get this thing rolling once again.
And Connor Price moves up one position into 14th. Nothing too dramatic, I know. We got to keep our eyes peeled for his movement, as we know he's one of the fastest out here with the fastest lap on the evening.
And Jaden Knight, involved in a couple incidents so far. He is sitting in the pits right now once again. Imagine getting some repairs patched up after the incident with Kenny McCullough. And getting word that Blaze Billing, not a happy camper after that last incident, Kevin. We'll go and watch it back maybe from his perspective here and see what it looked like from his eyes. And, you know, that bent up his front end a bit. And gotta say, I definitely understand why he wouldn't be a happy camper after that one, but back to some pace, and the lights are back on the pace car, so I believe they're going to take us to the 93rd lap here.
Yeah, look, I don't know if we have an overlay that says it, but I have officially lost count of the amount of lead changes so far this afternoon. Or evening, I suppose.
That is a fat negative. Unfortunately, we do not have a way to check that, but I know there's been more than two. It's off the pace car, though, and they're going down the back stretch. We're going to get ready to get this thing rolling once again. I think I only see, what is that, 16 on the lead lap? Nathan Swafford going to be the last vehicle on the lead lap right now. And Jacob Petrowski going to be the lead lap car in contention of the Lucky Dog. Another caution does come out. Pace car is going to make its way in, and we're going green once again.
Here comes Dawson Price in control, and a great jump there. And it's another double file restart, so we're going to see the guy in third, which is Omar Rodriguez, trying to slip his nose in there and take second from Chris McCullough. Fortunately, the exit speed of the 04 is too much so far as they go through the turns.
Again, we're seeing a three-wide situation going on. Just a couple rows back. And oh, we see one loose. We see one in the wall. We saw Kenny McCullough take a tap and the 78 get loose.
If I'm correct, the caution came out before we saw that contact with the wall, so it had to have started either elsewhere or just earlier on, but going back here and taking a look, some three-wide action maybe.
I think the 78, 41 gets up into the wall a little bit there.
Oh!
Man.
So it happens up even further than what we were watching. I'm not sure who that is.
I don't know why I don't get a read on that. I believe that is... Who do we got there? Come on. Ah, Kyle Van Drunen. That's who we got up there up front. In the 36, he gets a little bit of wall contact there.
Kenny McCullough. Well,
I don't know.
you know, it looks to me a little bit like Kenny McCullough got into him. I know he was struggling with the wall a little bit, but it seems most things were sorted, and he was kind of right in that top groove. Kenny,
Realized,
yeah,
I think he
looks,
realized there's a car low and tries to.
yeah, I think
stay that
Kenny
second
saw
line.
how off pace he was and kind of tried to get under him, but then a little bit indecisive, and they connect.
Not enough room and not enough real estate, but leads to an end of the race for Garrett Hummel in the 78, who caught the tail end of that one.
Fortunate for him.
Absolutely, as we see him sitting in his pit stall there. But the rest of them back to pacing ground once again. He's going to creep us ever so closely to the 100 lap marker.
Yeah, and once again, a huge thanks to Towers Foundation for sponsoring us and coming along on this great Iowa race. And once again, that's t2t.org. It's in the chat. Go check them out. They got an about page, they got a programs page, a lot of events running, a shop, just all sorts of stuff to get you a lot more well versed on the foundation than I currently am. So that's t2t.org.
It's still on the pace car here, so we're going to go around one more time, and I think that's going to take us to lap 99 when they cross it and go green out here. But at it for quite a while out here. We see 17 still on the lead pack. It's still on the lead lap, sorry. Kyle Van Drunen, who was involved in that one, made his way back out and is still going to have a shot here on the lead lap. And sorry, I take that back. We see 17 on the lead lap now. With that caution, Jacob Petrowski going to make his way onto the lead lap as well. Lights off the pace car, so we're going to get ready to get this thing underway once again. And I think we're going to see a single file wide restart once again. We've seen a little bit of a mix-up here between the two of them.
I think the rule is if a caution flies within 3 laps of the last caution, it's single file, something like that. Regardless, another great jump for Dawson Price here.
We see a little bit of a wall bump there on the exit, and we see, oh my god, 2 cars go hard into the wall on the back stretch. Aaron Wright and Jeremy Osborne, the two involved in
The
that
famous
one.
words of Jim Bob, good God almighty, that was a big wreck, Luke.
That it was, Kevin, and we're going to have to go back and take a look at that one. And I believe we see it happening right there on the exit. Ooh. Just a slight bit of contact there, just absolutely jumps both of them.
I imagine that's the evening for at least Osborne.
You would be correct to assume that, but not for Aaron Wright. The 60 is intact and does not have a meatball.
Oh, actually, you know, I'd say he took a harder hit almost.
It looked like
With
it,
that
but
being said,
he is still driving, and Jeremy Osborne, unfortunately, cannot particularly say the same after he makes his way in. As you can see there, I don't think that I don't think the wheel's supposed to do that.
Yeah, and a little bit off topic, but I remember in one of my first ARCA races, it was Talladega, and I killed the wall head on, and I was able to clear the damage up in like 3 minutes. But if you get it, off-center damage, I've noticed it's always a meatball. It's always day ending. So it's a very weird damage model that these ARCA cars have, that you almost wanna hit the nose if you're gonna take damage somewhere. And I'd assume if Aaron Wright still does have a running car, it's because it was such a centered hit.
Yeah, and we're getting a little bit of a word there in the chat there. We're hearing that single file starts happen when there are multiple cautions that happen within so many laps of each other. So I guess that's how they go ahead and decide that. So more frequent cautions, we'll get single file restarts. If we get a long stretch, we'll go to a 2-lane. So it's a nice system. I like that. With that caution, though, we're going to get another wave around, I believe. It's going to be John Marino in the 32. Yep, we just saw him make his way around the group, and he's going to be back on the lead lap now, and it's going to bring 18 vehicles now on the lead lap. The rest of them out there just trying to hang alive and get some points on the board for the season. Light's going to come off the pace car here, so we're going to go green on lap 104. Dawson Price once again going to have the command. Christopher McCullough going to be hunting him down. This car is making its way in, and we are going green once again out here for the 10th time of the night. And off we go once again. They're racing, they're green. Once again, it is a good jump for Dawson Price. This time.
Probably hoping for a nice green run if you're either of them, because we saw a lot of speed long term out of both of those guys. So I guess from a viewer's perspective at least, it'd be nice to see if they could go at head-to-head once again. How about Connor Price up into 9th place though after his unfortunate pit stop timing earlier, moving him back to 15th. He's made up 6 spots.
He's fighting to work his way back up there to, I assume, give some support to his brother, who is running up there and still defending this one, as Christopher McCullough has made up the time, and he is now knocking at the door, and I believe he is setting himself up to try to make an attempt on a pass. I'll take a guess here. Let's see what he's got, as he is pretty close to the bumper of Dawson Price.
Luke, it's pretty admirable watching those Price brothers go at it out here. I remember the last time me and my brother were in a race together, someone told us to enjoy our vacation, so it's definitely, definitely a lot different.
Did that one actually result in the vacation?
No, I don't think it did.
That's fortunate for you both.
Yeah.
Omar Rodriguez, though, gonna make his way into the 3rd place position, and oh, we see a little bit of a maybe getting a little bit loose there. Reagan Shockley out of turn 4, so that's gonna mess up his line there, and he's gonna go wide through turn 20. P2. But hold it together there as we saw him get a little loose there on the front stretch.
Danny Barnes, he's had a great turnaround on this race.
And I just thought I'd point out, Kevin, we have a new race leader.
We
Christopher
do.
McCullough made the pass, and he is now leading this thing away. We see one loose below the infield there. And we're seeing it start to stack up a little bit there.
wide. Yeah, and this is where things start to get dangerous.
C2 going for a pass here. They're both on the lead lap here. It's, dare I say it, Kevin, but it's about go time. If you want to make something happen, you got to start getting the gears working now. We're seeing some pass attempts here. 99 of Kian Fry and Heath Job going at it. See Van Drunen making his way into the pits. He is showing that he crashed, and he is now missing a front bumper. No meatball given to him, though, from what I can see. Oh, and a self-spin and a hard lick. I gotta say, yeah, they didn't give him the meatball for that one. He's gonna be sitting in there for quite a bit. What chat's saying? I think we got five lead changes right now, Kevin.
I think that's still, you know, under, pretty far on the under as far as the line goes. I know we almost got that green cycle that would have switched things up a whole bunch, but right when we started, we saw a caution.
A lot of fanned
Connor
out
Price.
driving.
Connor Price has picked off 2 more and moved up into 7th place.
Yeah, he's on a mission here, Kevin. Let's maybe go on board here for one of them here, and you know what? We'll watch his nose. See what kind of lines he's taking out here. Opting to run a shorter inside line here than those 2 drivers. We know he got a fresh set of tires when he made his way into the pits there on that green flag run before the caution came out. Trying to chew up any bit of time he can. Looks like he's maybe one to pick off 1 or 2 more, and oh! Some contact between him and the 93. He's going to make the pass. A little bit of contact there, though, for Connor Price. I'm not seeing any damage visible from the vehicle, from what I can tell, but there was definitely some contact back there. But Christopher McCullough starting to break away on this thing from Dawson Price.
If you're Dawson Price, you know, a couple things are going through your mind. A, are you saving more tires than Christopher McCullough is? Because if you are, then I wouldn't be concerned at all about the position he's currently in. But B, if you're letting Christopher McCullough save tires and pull away, you know, what can you switch up to kind of get some pace going so that you don't get dusted?
And from what it's looking like, McCullough is definitely pulling away from the race here. He's putting on a little bit of extra time, but at the same time, it's not really like breakaway distance here. He's not making it up super fast.
How about Danny Barnes? He's found some serious speed out here.
Yeah, he has, and he's riding the bumper of Dawson Price here, and maybe thinking about a pass here to look at second place as he's going to keep running that tighter inside line.
Can we take another look at best lap of the evening and see kind of where these guys stack up if it's on even tires?
You got best laps up there right now. Right now, I believe that still goes to Connor Price with a 32.62.
23. If the best lap was a 32, I would be
23,
concerned.
sorry. You know what I mean.
Regardless, McCullough and Dawson Price, I mean, right there. And then Danny Barnes and Omar Rodriguez kind of showing what they can do in the long run. As they're a couple tenths off, but at the same time, right here with them.
Connor Price now looking for a pass on the 74. He's not quite going to have it going through this turn sequence. He's clawed his way up to 6th place. This race starts to make its way to its final quarter. Christopher McCullough is still sitting comfortably up in the front, but not much pressure off the back. He, from looking at the track map here, though, he's making his way on some lap cars here, but not too much. So if he can make his way around these guys, as soon as I'm talking about that, Chris Price making up some significant time now, as he briefly had it closed over half a second.
Or Dawson, I mean.
Yeah, Dawson, sorry.
It's okay, I got it wrong first time too, so.
Seeing a pass go on back there from Omar Rodriguez on Danny Barnes right now. They're door-to-door going down the front stretch. That is for 3rd place. Omar's going to stick it on the inside here. Danny going to run it high, and looks like Danny might have come out on top there on the back stretch, but you can see those back ends getting a little squirrely there, Kevin. I think that exit of turn 4 is going to start to become pretty deadly here on these last handful of laps.
You know, we still have over 30 laps, and I imagine some of these guys' tires are already screaming. So it's going to be kind of the game of who can hold on to them for the longest.
Boy, and we see a bit of a 3-wide situation going on right now between the 74, who's now going through the grass on the tri-oval and rejoining the track in turn 1.
That was pretty cool.
That was pretty damn cool. Aiden Stevens able to hold on to it and getting it through the grass and still making it through the sequence.
We real quickly go to an onboard replay of that and see how he managed to keep that one, honestly, to a decent pace.
Oh yeah, we can.
Starts losing it into the grass, has no control, back on the pavement, has some control, gets it back on the track, and keeps
Downshifts
it
and back on
above
the throttle. There it is.
6,500 RPMs and right where he needs to be.
Yeah, and he's still holding on to 7th place, Kevin. He's even looking at the bumper and trying to make his way up into the 6th place position.
Yeah, and, you know, obviously, probably not thrilled that happened to him, but at the same time, what could have happened is a lot worse than what did happen.
Exactly, exactly.
Omar Rodriguez has reclaimed that last podium position over Danny Barnes. And Dawson Price is really starting to close this gap.
Really looking on board of your leader. He's still got quite a bit of pace off from the lap car, but Dawson Price knocking at the door. He's making his way up on his bumper now. Omar Rodriguez.
The move's being made. Yeah. And that's Connor Price up in the mix.
Man, and he's fought and clawed his way all around, Kevin, and he's made his way all the way back up here near the front.
Wow.
That's some driving right there, as they are maneuvering around some lap traffic as well. But when the dust settles here, I believe that's going to put Connor Price here behind Omar Rodriguez, chasing down for 3rd. You know, when him and Dawson get hooked up here, they're going to probably try to make something work. And oh, there's a mistake. Christopher McCullough rubs the exit of turn 4 wall, and that's going to give the inside to Dawson Price. Through the turn sequence, Christopher's still going to hold on to it here, and he's going to have the exit. But a little flicker of a mistake there for Christopher McCullough. The nerves starting to get to him, or the tire wear.
I I'd say probably a combination. We see Danny Barnes possibly struggling with some tire wear as he's dropped 2 spots within the past handful of laps. We see really the only guy that I'm seeing not really struggle much with these tires is Connor Price, who's still closing that gap.
And he seems to have something figured out on the tires, Kevin. We gotta get some chatting done with him and figure out what he's doing that we don't. This guy's got some secret sauce for tire safety. And he's now looking at the bumper of Omar Rodriguez, looking maybe at a pass.
And with a short 26 laps to go, who's going to make these passes and who's going to make these decisions that ultimately win them the race? Because there's not as big of a spread out as I would have imagined after such a green run. I mean, Dawson Price and Christopher McCullough are hip and hip. Connor Price is closing, Omar Rodriguez is closing it.
But Omar Rodriguez and Connor Price has a little bit of lap traffic they're going to have to work through if they want to catch up there to him. They got 2 cars they're going to have to get around here, and it's definitely going to shake up their pace a little bit compared to the others. Still single file racing right now. See a lap car there getting in between Christopher McCullough and Dawson Price here. And like I said, Kevin, this is where the lap traffic really comes in. All these guys are on rough tires right now. They got to make the passes if they want to keep pace with the leader here. And I'm pretty sure Christopher McCullough knows that. He's trying to make his way around them and try to leave his, yeah, just as I thought. He's going to cut right up high and leave his little window of opportunity there for Dawson Price as possible. Trying to get as much traffic in between him as he can. Slow down his pace. I don't imagine Dawson Price is looking for the move just yet. He's probably just kind of hanging off here and the lap car makes its way around the leaders. But Omar Rodriguez and Connor Price making their way around.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the question is going to be, are these guys going to battle each other for the podium spot? Or are they just going to, kind of chill, save as much tire as they can, and just try to fight for the lead once they get up there? Because, we see that 2-wide racing really slow the guys down, and I'd imagine if they started doing that now, there's no way they're catching the front 2.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, but Jeffrey Bourne off track here, and it seems to be contained to a one-driver affair out there. Getting a little bit of dirt on the
and there's the
on
caution.
The
Oh,
no.
Boy.
And there it is.
That changes everything.
Sorry, I think that's on a separate incident. I'm reading that Sean Merriman has crashed as well in that sequence.
I have to go check it out because that is a...
Ooh. Oh, man.
Yeah, I'd say you're correct.
Yep.
As we see the beautiful scheme of the 33, not as beautiful.
Indeed. Yeah. Unfortunate there is... Oh, man, wait a minute. I'm sorry, but I'm reading... That's gotta be just slow pace, right? I just read that Christopher McCullough and Dawson Price crashed. Watching that back, I imagine that's probably just...
Probably coming to a complete halt.
Yeah, coming to...
Let either the pace car or the field catch.
Yep.
Yeah, the pace car.
They're waiting for the pace car. Okay. It's those weird bugs like that that make me kind of jump a second. I'm like, wait a minute, all of our leaders just got wrecked out, but...
Yeah, I'm gonna let him get through the pits, but then I want to talk to whoever comes out of the pits here first. I'd imagine if it's clean, Christopher McCullough, unless we see some 2 tire strategies. But I do want to get whoever's going to be leading this one, into the.
And it's going to go to Dawson Price.
Well, we've already talked to Dawson Price. Do we want to talk to him again, or do we want to get P2?
Let's get the other Price in here. It's up to you. The other Price or Rodriguez? What are you thinking?
Let's get Omar in here. He's had a very strong race sitting up top 5 all night, and now he's going to be starting on the front row. Hey, Omar, guys in the booth. You got a copy?
Howdy, howdy.
Hey, man, a strong race so far for not only you, but the team as a whole. You want to talk us through what needs to happen here for your race to continue in the direction it's been going?
Right now, all of us have taken 2 tires instead of 4. I do believe the 04 took 4 tires. So I think what we need to have happen right now is have the left sides hold up as much as possible, and we should be able to pull away here.
Absolutely. On that last run, do you feel like you kind of had a tire advantage amongst the other guys in the top 5, or was it starting to kind of slip a little bit?
If we'd gone green to the end, I really think I at least could have caught them, if not passed them entirely. I definitely felt like the 04 and the 54, between battling with the lap cars and battling each other, I think I probably could have at least beat them. Or, sorry, caught them, if not beat them.
Absolutely. Well, we wish you the best of luck in the rest of the race, as well as the team out there. Hopefully we can talk to you at the end.
That's the idea. Definitely a hell of a lot better this week than last week, huh?
Absolutely. It's been a great one.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks. That was Omar Rodriguez. A great run so far, Luke, on a 2-tire strategy. That's what I'd do, because I don't know, how it would fare out here, but loosening up the car is always good for me, so maybe the 2-tire strategy is going to do just that, as well as give them enough tread to get things to the end of the race. Like you said, though, the 04 on a 4-tire strategy, he's currently sitting in 15th, so Christopher McCullough believing strongly in the other 2 tires on the left side here. Luke, what do you think?
It's a tough situation out here, Kevin, and just as you were going through that interview here, I did notice that we are going to be too wide here to get this thing restarted, so a whole difference of strategies here that's going to come into play here, and depending on who took maybe the 2 set opposed to the 4, they might have a little more grip out here, but depending on what line they got, it's going to shake it up. I'm going to shut the hell up because we're going racing. Green maybe for the last time. It's 15 to go.
54 moves up pretty early. I don't know what the rule is on that. It looked maybe premature, but I could be talking out of my ass as he's going to be out in front of Omar Rodriguez now as they've single filed out, but the battle for 3rd between Price and Stevens is side by side. Connor Price on the inside of that.
Oh boy, they're door to door.
Not giving them much room. 14 to go, and we're going to need to start seeing some moves made from Christopher McCullough if he wants that 4-tire move to start playing out in his favor. A lot of laps left, though. Dawson Price looking for the back-to-back as he has an advantage right now over Omar Rodriguez, who is holding that 2nd position strong, but here comes the 74 car of Stevens, peeking at spots, trying to find anywhere to make a pass as he's running kind of a higher line, a little bit of a vulnerable line, which is possibly going to get Connor Price's nose inside of him. Now right now as the crossover is being made, and now he's on the inside of Omar Rodriguez. Leading Stevens side by side for 2nd. And this is exactly what Dawson Price wants to see. He wants to see the battle for 2nd place. Because the further out he can get by running by himself, the better. Rodriguez is going to defend very nicely.
You know, Kevin, if they want to make their moves and put themselves in a winning position, they got to do it here in the next handful of laps. I think we're starting to see that sense of urgency from a couple of the guys in a couple positions back. Danny Barnes and DJ Norris battling it out right now in the 5th place position. So they're looking to see if they can get up there in that bunch. But it's going to be a tough one here as Dawson Price is going to try to defend here. The question is going to be, do they have the time and do they have the track to do it? 9 to go.
9 laps here. Dawson Price still running his line with no contention. Connor Price kind of fucking fell off a little bit. It doesn't seem like he's had that dominant pace kind of buried back 4 cars as we saw from when he was leading this race with the fastest lap of the night. Possibly
maybe-
a little bit of tire saving still going on for these guys.
I was gonna just say maybe Connor Price chewed up a little bit more of those tires than he meant
Yeah.
to, catching up as it seems he's kind of plateaued as we're seeing him maybe slip a little bit on the exits of turns 2 and 4.
Absolutely, we know those left tires have been through hell as he's dug his way back through the field.
And that's going to give the inside to the 82 there of BJ Norris.
And here comes Aiden Stevens, though, making another pass attempt on Omar Rodriguez as they're side by side. And
Oh, man, he's going to have
he
it.
is clear, barely.
He's going to have it.
Here comes Aiden Stevens.
He's
He
going to go
wants
for the
the leader.
switchback. Omar Rodriguez shooting back for the inside. And, oh, man, they're going to be door-to-door for the second place position. And like you keep saying, Kevin, if you're Austin Price, that is exactly what you want to see.
100%.
The 74, does he have a run in him to contest Dawson Price here with just 5 to go as they cross the line next time? And I'm currently reading that Connor Price is wrecking. And he has jumped right now, and oh man, him and the 62, they got involved. We saw the 62 going for a pass earlier. And oh man, Kevin, that is going to bring a big caution out here and really shake this thing up here with 5 to go.
Absolutely. And a name that we haven't mentioned much this evening, Jacob Petrosky, is now in 4th place. And with this caution,
Holy shit, is he
Up, up.
really? Oh
a
my god,
contender
he...
for-
Okay, wait a minute. I don't mean to cut you off here, but there was a sequence when he got the lucky dog and got the wave around. That is a huge transfer there for Jacob Petrowski. But let's go and break down this this caution real quick first. And it's kind of the same sequence here. We saw the 82 going for the pass, and oh no, Connor Price getting loose on the exit. And you know, I gotta say, Kevin, I think it's what I was hinting to earlier there, chewing up a bit of them tires, making up that time, and oh no, an unfortunate one for him, but. Yeah, Jacob Petrowski, what a transfer for him. He's made his way all the way up here. Do we have him as an available interview?
Searching. Yeah, we do.
Oh man, bring him
Drag
on
him
in
over.
here.
Let's see what he has to say.
Yeah, get the word from him as I'm going to go back and try to review. Hearing word that maybe some wrecking under caution from around Blaze Billing.
Omar for this.
Hey, Jacob, guys in the booth, you got a copy?
Yeah.
Hey, man, a crazy race for you so far. You know, I think you've been all over the field, and right now, when it matters the most, you're sitting in a top 4 position. You know, we're seeing a lot of different strategies out here, and we're seeing a lot of, you know, crazy restarts. You want to talk us through kind of, you know, what needs to happen for you to have a chance in this one?
I just have to hope that this top is going to roll like it should. And I think I've been running strong enough up top all race to where as long as we roll, I'll have a good shot.
Absolutely. I know throughout the evening we've kind of been talking about on the double file restarts, the inside line being able to get the left rear. Will we see a double file restart, or is it single file, or are you familiar with how that's going to work here for this last restart?
This should be double. We haven't had a string of cautions yet to make it single.
Okay, I got you. So hoping you the best, and you know, if all goes well, we can talk to you here at the end of this race. But good luck in the rest of this race, Jacob.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks. That was Jacob Petrosky, sitting pretty in P4 right now. Like he said, just hoping that outside the line rolls where he has Aiden Stevens in front of him. So I'd imagine it's going to roll because Aiden Stevens has been on the move in the latter half of this race.
Yeah, but we'll have to see out here if they can get it done.
And how about Chris McCullough moving up into 9th place? And he's got fresh all 4. So far, his strategy hasn't turned out the way he had hoped. But they're still racing ahead of us, as this is going to be the first green-white checkered of a possible... Well, this might be a natural. A possible 4, though.
Gotcha. We'll see if we need him out here. Lights off the pace car, so we'll be going green this time by, possibly for the last time of the afternoon. We are into the double digits of cautions. And we'll see if any more, or if any green-white checkers are required. Pace car is in. They're rolling across the line. Dawson Price and Aiden Stevens, they're going to battle it out here for 2 more as they cross the line here.
Great jump there for Dawson Price, just what he needed, but also a great jump here for Aiden Stevens, as he's not really going to have to contend with anybody else for that second position. He'll be able to just slide in and give it a fair shot here. Petrowski makes the pass on Omar Rodriguez, and he's sitting 3rd now. Looking to the inside.
Oh, man.
Of Aiden Stevens.
And
they have
will we
single file
see
back
it?
out.
White flag, white
And it is
flag.
the white flag. Dawson Price trying to hold on, but around the outside goes Aiden Stevens. He's going to try to cut him off. Not going to have the tire grip. It's going to be free through 1 and 2 for Dawson Price. Does Aiden Stevens have one more prayer to give it? Through 3 and 4, single file, just not going to stick
No
for Aiden
tire
Stevens.
grip.
And it's going to be back to back for Dawson Price.
Oh, man. And what a win for him. And Jacob Petrowski finishing in a podium as well. He got up into that top 3. Aiden Stevens getting your 2nd place finish. And man, what
Absolutely.
a exciting win there for Dawson Price, getting the back-to-back.
Into 7th goes Christopher McCullough. I'd like to point him out, your front runner as far as the 4-tire strategy went. Just didn't seem to really work out. Took the gamble. And how about Heath Job with a P6, Danny Barnes with a P5, a couple of Skid Row racers with good finishes out here.
Absolutely.
But Dawson Price back to victory lane, and he's getting used to it. And this
Letting the
time Luke is
teammates
finishing
pass
with
him.
gas in the car.
That's right, he is. He's letting the teammates and the rest of the guys get around him before he begins to burn this one down. Everyone passing by him, paying the respects, and there he goes. Burning it down. Actually going to vaguely take it the opposite direction.
And he's starting from one end of the grandstands to the other.
Oh yeah, he's showing all the fans. And there's the brother coming up behind him. Not able to get as quite of a heroic finish there as his brother, but nonetheless, a happy night for them, and no doubt they'll probably be celebrating together once this thing is all set and through. We're seeing quite a few burn it down. Among the lights, likes of Jacob Petrowski getting in the top 3. Aiden Stevens is there next to him, who got 2nd. League Commissioner Omar Rodriguez getting a couple in as well. And so is the 28 as well. Connor Price.
I think your top 5 amongst them is going to be Danny Barnes. He had a great night. McCullough's finishing next to each other. They started next to each other. I think they started 6-7 and finished 7-8, so not the most movement for them, but definitely didn't stay in 7th and 8th all race. A lot of ups and downs for both of them.
Either way, a great race for all of your front runners here as the results are coming up on screen now. Dawson Price going to get credited with the win there. Aiden Stevens and Jacob Petrowski going to be getting the 2-3 for Triple R. Omar Rodriguez getting 4th place. Danny Barnes in 5th. Heath Job getting 6th place. Christopher McCullough rounding out in 7th. Kenny in 8th. Jeffrey Bourne in 9th. And Kian Fry in 10. That will round out your top 10. We have 17 vehicles that remained on the lead lap there. John Marino going to be the last of them. But either way, a great race there for Dawson Price as we're going to, I assume, get ready for those interviews, Kevin.
I'm going to go ahead and drag our race winner in here first, Dawson Price, to see what he has to say about this one. Hey, Dawson, guys in the booth, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, once again, getting it done out here with your 2nd win in the 3 races of this season so far. You want to talk us through that last little run of about 20 laps where, even before that caution, it kind of seemed like, the 2nd and 3rd place guys were kind of battling each other out. And, I'd imagine that's kind of what you wanted to see out of your rearview mirror.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there in the last run, I was watching the 74 kind of come up through in my rear view and noticed he had some good speed. So it was kind of like, okay, well, I hope they duke it out for a while. And then back on the caution, I think he had 4 new tires. I'm not exactly sure, but I only had right sides there, so I was a lot more loose. But I'm glad I kind of figured before the last caution that I could keep it in front of him, but definitely good to see that I could barely. But that was an
Yeah,
absolute blast. Great racing with the 74 there.
absolutely, and it was a great race for us to watch. I know we now have a little bit of a break. We go celebrate the Christmas season and the New Year's, but then we're going to Five Flags Speedway, and you've won both of the short tracks so far, but this is a different beast. And you think you got an honest shot in the next race?
I would say I think so, but I haven't bought the track yet, so that's next on the
you,
list.
you and me both.
So that'll be interesting. I think we'll have a good shot there. Usually pretty decent at the short tracks, so just something to kind of see how it goes through practice, heading up to then, and then on that Tuesday when we end up racing it. So
Yeah,
we'll just have to
absolutely.
see.
Well, congratulations on getting the checkered flag out here for the second week in a row. And you'd like to shout out before we get you out of here?
Thank you. I'd like to shout out my brother Connor. It was first race, racing with him, and had some unfortunate stuff happen at the end there. And that sucks to see, but shout out to Connor, LOC, and Apex, the satellite team, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And you guys for a dope broadcast as always. So,
Absolutely, we appreciate it, and congratulations, Dawson.
all right, thank you.
Thanks. That was Dawson Price taking home the second trophy in a row here, getting the win at Iowa. Next, I want to talk to Aiden Stevens, who, out of all the guys that finished up there towards the front, look, we didn't talk about him too much until that last handful of laps where he seemed to really lock it in. So I want to get him on over here if I can find him. There he is. Hey, Aiden, guys in the booth, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey man, a great race and more importantly, a great finish. I know we saw you riding up towards the top 5 front all race, but then it kind of seems like you found another gear towards the end there and was able to get a second place finish after getting around your teammates, or after staying up there with your teammate, both of you guys getting around a couple cars. Do you want to talk us through kind of how that back half of that race went and how you're able to get up into a podium spot?
Yeah, this track hasn't been the strongest on my schedule, but I kind of was roaming around and I found that Highline was working very, very well for me. So I just decided to kind of stick it up there and see where it went. And turns out I was pretty fast.
Absolutely. We just kind of talked to Dawson about how it was a lot of battling for second and third to kind of give him an advantage there towards the end. Do you feel like on that last restart, you had anything for him as far as, kind of your tires went, or just with the short amount of laps it was kind of written to be his with the jump on the restart?
I think I could have had it. On the final lap, I got to his outside, but coming out of 2, I spun the tires. If I didn't spin my tires coming out of 2, I feel like I would have had a run going into the 3, and it would have gave him a challenge. But battling with Omar was a little rough, trying to get past him. But after I got by him, I started to realize I was slowly catching, and then a caution came out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, all in all, a very strong run for you as well as your team out here getting a 2-3. So congratulations. Anyone like to shout out before we get you out of here?
Just my teammates for being there. Rough race for them. A lot of them got involved early. I know Jacob bounced back with a 3rd place finish, so that's good for us. Good for points.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on the podium out here, Aiden.
Thank you.
Thanks. That was Aiden Stevens out here getting second place after finding that next gear and getting up to battle Dawson. I know we did see him get to the outside there, and I honestly thought he had something for him. As it was kind of a pass on the outside attempt that we haven't seen much of this evening, but at the end he was able to get a second place finish. And the last interview I would like to get in here is going to be Jacob Petrowski getting a 3rd place finish. I know we just very recently talked to him, but the race is now over and he got 3rd place, so I'm going to bring him on over.
That's what he's got to say.
Hey, Jacob, guys in the booth, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey man, we kind of talked to you about what was going to happen for you to have a shot at it, and it did seem like that top got rolling, but it also kind of seemed like you guys were all on somewhat spent tires, and I know we saw Aiden kind of make a move on the outside and spun him a little bit. So was there really anything else you could have given the car for maybe a chance for the checkered flag there, or was it always third place?
That one felt like it was always third place, especially with Omar on my inside for both of those laps. Couldn't really cut down towards the end of each corner like I wanted to. And plus, my right front was burnt up anyway. I spent quite a while during that last green flag run before the green white checkered, just fighting back there, and kind of burnt my stuff up a little bit too early. But still, it's great to finish third, especially with all I've been through today, going from up front to like 3 laps down because of a weird pit cycle, and back up front again. It's a great point today, great for me and great for my team.
Absolutely, 100%. It really shows a lot about your short track ability. And our next track we're going to go to isn't for a few weeks, but it's going to be Five Flags. Do you feel like you got a good shot there at an even shorter track?
Maybe. I've never raced there, so I gotta get some practice in, but hopefully I'll be able to do somewhat well there.
Absolutely. Well, we hope to talk to you again soon because that's always, for the most part, a good sign. But anyone like to shout out before we get you out of here?
I'd like to shout out my spotter, Matthew Wright. I've had him for the past couple of races, and he's one of my best buddies, and it's great to have him up there in the box, just tell me everything I need to know.
Absolutely. Always appreciated having a real spotter out there. I know Jimmy Johnson can get pretty tiring for me at least. So
I can
it's good
second
to have
that one,
her.
Kevin.
It's good to have a real spotter, but jokes aside, congratulations on getting a podium out here, Jacob, and we hope to talk to you soon.
Thank you.
That was Jacob Petrosky getting third place out here and celebrating with the guys. Luke, what a race!
I mean, Kevin, there really ain't much more you can say to it than that. It was one hell of a race out here. It was a great finish for all the guys that made it up there into the top 10. It was an exciting race. We had our fair share of cautions out here. We had, I don't want to say we had a big one per se, but there was definitely one that definitely brought an argument to the table. Either way, though, it was an all-around exciting race. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed myself a lot. Omar, when he was in here for his interview, couldn't have said it better. It was a lot better than Phoenix. We saw a fair share of early cautions, but then we saw a few very solid green runs. We saw the front half of a green flag pit cycle, so I'm counting it as a green flag pit cycle. And we saw a lot of good racing action, especially up there towards the front for the lead. But I think that's gonna about do it for our broadcast here at Iowa tonight. A huge, huge, huge thanks to Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Once again, it's been put in the chat a couple times. I'll put it again. Go check out Steven's story as well as all the about pages they have to offer. It's a great foundation. So a huge shout out to them. Also a huge shout out to all the viewers and drivers that came out here tonight to make this show possible. Shout out to Logan and Omar and everyone else that puts this on and makes this possible for us and helps us work through these races. And I think that's going to about do it, Luke.
Yeah, Kevin, I think you about covered all the grounds out there. To all of the fans out there, Ninth Gear wishing you guys all a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. We will see you guys all after the holidays have concluded and we've all gotten nice and fat from all the food, and we will see you all after the holiday break. We'll see you all next time. Good night, race fans.